Hi friends, welcome back to Rouse Rising Homestead. My name is Katie and today I am sharing with you part of my pantry challenge. We're going to be diving into some of this week's meals. This is week 2 of January's pantry challenge, the Three Rivers Homestead Challenge, the Rouse Rising Save as much money as you can challenge. I'm going to add that one in there. I just haven't quite figured out the hashtag yet, but that is my goal this month, is to try and save money at the grocery store by using up some of the foods that I already have on my shelves. I have been stocking my pantry for the last year like a little squirrel and, stashing food here and stashing food there. And wow, I have a bunch of food in this house, but I need to figure it all out and work through some of this food storage and make sure that I am utilizing all of the food and not letting anything go to waste. My goal in this pantry challenge is to save money at the grocery store by buying the bare minimal. We have to have fresh fruit in this house and we have to have milk in this house. So those are two things that we cannot go up without, as well as eggs. We don't have chickens right now, so we also need eggs. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a grocery haul, a little bit of a pantry restock, and some of the meals that I was able to prepare. Keep in mind, I cook a lot of food so that we can have leftovers for a few nights. That makes it easier on me, and then I can do other things, like another night I might make all of my baked goods. I'm going to share that with you in today's video. Another night I might make a big pot of chili pasta stuff and eat on that for a few days. I'm going to share that with you in this video, as well as maybe Mississippi pot roast. Does that sound good? So grab a cup of tea and let's hang out. Let's enjoy some time together. All the good stuff is going down today on Rouse Rising. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. I have a giveaway coming up. I'm going to share a little bit about it in this video. You also want to make sure you're subscribed, give this video a like, and leave a comment down below. Are you participating in this month's pantry challenge, in the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge? Is that something that you are doing? I know I'm trying to. I'm not going to keep you waiting a minute longer. Let's dive right into this video. Okay, so I ran into Fred Meyer's. Had to grab a few things like these for my work this morning, and I had to get a bottle of bleach too, which isn't over here. It's over here for work. So over here we've got pudding, pie filling. Aaron's gonna try some different puddings to see if he can tolerate those. He's pretty hungry right now on his liquid diet, so we're gonna give him some different things to try out. We love bedtime tea in this house, or at least I do. The soothing caramel bedtime is delicious and the extra sleepy time is good. So this will get us through the next month. And then for Aaron and the kids, they like peppermint because the kids say it tastes like candy canes and it's good for Aaron's stomach. So we've got this probiotic one we'll try out. Sandwich bags for kids' lunches. Almond milk because I haven't broke the habit yet, but it's free from all the bad stuff. That's for my coffee and when I have granola. Down here, we are all out of fresh tomato sauce. So this is the tomato sauce that they had on sale at the store, some Jovial. And it was $2.49 per jar of organic tomato sauce. And we use that in a lot of our soups. And when I make spaghetti, I just add the seasonings to it. Kids requested dill pickles. I think we have some in the garage in a big giant gallon jar, but I wanted to go ahead and get some back up because we're going to go through one of those. Then we have right here some olives. We just ate a jar of those last week, so I wanted to replenish our pantry stock. We love these so much. We have 2 more jars in the pantry and we can go through these in the next month. So we had to replenish so we could keep eating them. Riker discovered pepperoncini peppers recently, so I've got some to make Mississippi pot roast, and then the cut up ones are for him to add to his eggs and whatever else he likes to eat those on. We were all out of broccoli, so we grabbed some more broccoli because it's really good with lemon pepper seasoning. We throw this in the air fryer and sprinkle this in olive oil or butter or whatever you want to, pig lard on top. And it makes a really good, easy side dish. You can also steam it, but it's way better air fried or roasted. We were using different kinds of vegetables in our soups lately, so I wanted to restock our soup mix and use these with the lemon pepper seasoning as well for a night's side dish. And got some more 3-pepper blend, onion blend for those quick nights when I just want to shred up some chicken. We can cook this in the Instant Pot with some chicken breast and then put it on top of rice. And that makes a quick and easy dinner. Star anise is really good for colds and coughs, so I like to keep that in stock. I actually couldn't find any in Klamath Falls for over a year. Now that they have it, every time I see it, I grab 1 bag of it. I try not to take too many. We've got coriander seed, cumin, and 6 chili powder. I need to make some taco seasoning, and I think we were running low on onion powder too, so we went ahead and got some more onion powder, and then we're going to use that to make some taco seasoning with some of these other ingredients. We went through mayonnaise, and I don't think we have any in the pantry. We can make it from scratch too, but I went ahead and grabbed an extra little mayonnaise. The buttermilk was on sale. We're gonna use one now for pancakes and waffles and things like that, and throw the other one in the freezer for another day. And then over here we have some diced peaches. The kids wanted those for their school lunches, so I think we'll alternate that with some applesauce and some other types of fruit that we have. We also have apples that we got from Azure, so we'll be rotating through that. And we have some canned fruit as well. So when we need to bust into the canned fruit, once our fresh fruit is used up, we're going to be using up our canned fruit. Okay, right here we've got, these were on sale. I figured we would try them. They were in the clearance section. Crispy vanilla squares. Hagen can't have anything with peanut butter in it, so I made sure that I was able to get her something that didn't have peanuts or peanut butter in it, and that she can enjoy in her snacks or her lunches. And then we grabbed 3 boxes of these Annie's s'mores because they were on sale, and why not? So I am going to put the total of my grocery food haul right across here for you.
Yeah, go for it. So that's 3, right?
All right. Aaron's making us pancakes this morning, or making the kiddos pancakes this morning.
That's 3.
This is 3?
Use up this buttermilk that we got on sale at the store, and this is going to be one of our pantry challenge meals. So he's going to make buttermilk pancakes, and then I will leave you guys the recipe he's using linked down below in this video's description, because he's using some random guy's video on the internet. So I'll share that with you guys in the video's description. He's doubling it, so he's making 6 cups of flour. And we've got pancakes to get us through at least tomorrow, maybe the next day for breakfast. So that was a good pantry thing. These freeze up really well, so we're going to store these in the refrigerator drawer in a Ziploc bag. All right, so we've got pancakes right here going, and you can see my freezer's full of stuff, so we are all set for the pantry challenge. We are all set. Okay, so this is what we got going on for this week. We've got some hamburger that we're thawing out. We've got some steaks we're thawing out. We're gonna make Mississippi pot roast with those. We've got leftover pancakes. I need to refill my jar of yeast, and I need to make some bread for the kids going into this week for school. We've got some salami left over from the pre-Christmas grocery haul. This is that second pack, and then you guys saw I got 2 more packs going. And then this is all of my goat cheese. This is all of the cheddar, or maybe that's mozzarella. I'm not sure. All right, let's get together some dinner. And for this dinner tonight for the kids, I am going to be grabbing some chopped veggies out of my freezer. What I like to do is hit up my discounted section of the produce aisle. When I go to the grocery store, I always check that area. Sometimes there's nothing on the shelf. Sometimes I get lucky and they have a whole bunch of peppers or a whole bunch of zucchinis, apples, whatever. And I bring those home, and if I can't use them all quick enough, then I will chop them up and put them in Ziploc bags to be used in the future for quick and easy meals. So right here I've got some peppers, a variety, let's see, triple colored peppers, and we're going to use those in today's dinner. And we're also going to see what else we can find in here. Here's some kielbasa. I don't want to use that. I briefly considered it. I was like, oh, I'll just throw some extra meat in there, but not going to. And then this is celery. There was at one time spring or summer where I had a whole bunch of celery that I scored a mega deal on. So I was able to chop all of it up and I freeze dried some of it and the rest of it I stuck in the freezer. So we're going to use some of the freezer celery today. Grabbed an onion from my onion stash, and now we're going to grab a can of beans. I like to can my beans in small batches and then have them on my shelf all ready to go so that I don't have to soak them and cook them. These are my fast food items that are already prepared, so all I have to do is rewarm them or add them to a super stew. So it's made my meal prep super quick. I love having these fast food already made items. Yes, they require time and energy up front, but then they are always available for me on the shelf. I grabbed some, it was either elk meat or deer meat that says spicy deer on top, but all the meat on that top shelf was either elk or venison deer meat. And then into the Instant Pot, we are going in with that lard we recently rendered down. And that is delicious. And I use that in most all of my cooking. Here's Aaron. He's just showing me what is in a chili seasoning so that I can make the kids a chili soup type meal. And so he was just rattling those off to me. We've got our onions sauteing. We're going to go ahead and throw in some celery. And then we're also going to throw in our peppers and get all of this stuff cooking away on the saute feature with our Instant Pot. So I start out with saute and then we're gonna kick it down to slow cook after a little while. Here goes those tri-colored peppers, pepper mix, and everything is gonna cook in there for a few minutes while I get the rest of these ingredients ready. You notice that I grabbed a bag of tomato sauce out of my freezer as well. So sometimes I get huge jars of tomato sauce for a great price from a bulk store, and if I don't use it all, I put it in Ziploc bags and I lay them flat in the freezer. Anytime I have soups or anything like this, I prefer to freeze them flat so that I can stack them up. So we are using that marinara sauce from last year. We are going to throw in these beans and this deer meat along with all of the juices and all of the nutrition that is in the jars along with those. We're not rinsing anything off and adding it. We're just adding all of it because it's all going to add so much flavor to this chili. And I didn't know what I was making when I started out, but this is what it has turned into. Good old-fashioned chili. And haven't you noticed that although chili is the same, everybody's chili tastes a little bit different, and this one's going to taste different from every other batch of chili that I've ever made because I always make my chili with what I have. How about you? Or do you follow a standard recipe? Because sometimes I throw in shredded up zucchini, sometimes I add in carrots. I mean, chili is really versatile in this house. Sometimes we add red lentils or we'll add black lentils. I even considered doing that today, but I'm not going to. I am going to add some of this super gelatinous bow chicka wow 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 broth that one of our friends brought to us. Thank you so much, Rachel. She brought us dinner, and I shared that with you in the last vlog, and she also brought us a couple jars of broth, and so I'm adding that to today's soup. I'm also going to go in with some chili powder, some cumin, and some onion powder, you know, the basic chili ingredients, and we're going to get this seasoned up beautifully. Use what you have. Sometimes chili recipes call for Italian seasoning, but I'm not using that this time because I'm using a marinara sauce and it already has some kind of seasoning in that, but you may need to add a splash of Italian seasoning or a dash of Italian seasoning to your chili. So I gave this a good mix once the marinara was melted down, and we are going to cover that and let it slow cook for about 4 hours until dinner time. Next up, it is time to restock some items in my pantry. So today I am restocking my Redmond's real salt, and I've got a couple of different containers. I have my large 5-gallon bucket that has real salt in it, and then I have a little 2-gallon bucket that has some real salt in it. Then I have my quart jar here on the counter container. And then I have my little teeny tiny salt cellar that I keep on my countertop for use. The quart jar stays in my kitchen up on a shelf, and that is what I refill my little salt cellar from. And the salt cellar goes from the kitchen table all around the kitchen. Everybody uses from that. And then I restock from my 2-gallon bucket, and then I restock my 2-gallon bucket from my 5-gallon bucket when it is needed, because those 5-gallon buckets are heavy, and the way I have all of my foods, all of my bulk food items stored isn't very efficient for accessing them. So it's pretty cumbersome. That's why you will see I have multiple containers tapering down to the container that I use in my kitchen, because that just makes it easier. Then I have to access my large 5-gallon buckets less often. So that makes sense for me in the way that I work my kitchen. You might have a better system for how you work in your kitchen. But hey, I could probably learn something new. So let me know down in the comments how you store and rotate through your bulk goods. That's how I do mine. Next, I am going to be refilling these beautiful glass bottle dispensers from Moly Moly. I'm going to put oil in one, and it is a oil dispenser. It has an oil dispensing top on it. And in the other jar back there, it has a syrup dispenser top on it. I am going to be putting elderflower cordial in there. These bottles are from Moly Moly. I got them off of Amazon. I will leave them linked down below for you to check out. And maybe one day, coming up here soon, you guys, click that subscribe button and the notification bell, because I am going to be giving away a set of these to one of my lucky subscribers. So definitely you don't want to miss out on that. I will have multiple giveaway contests coming up in the future, and I'm doing that for you all because I love you all so much, and I want to give back to this community that has given so much to me here. So stay tuned. I haven't worked out the details yet, but these one of each of these glass bottles could be yours. I'm going to be sending out a set just like this. So one's an olive oil dispenser. The other one is a syrup dispenser. And like I said, I'm putting my elderflower cordial in that bottle. We're going to keep that in the refrigerator, and we just squirt that into our water. The kids love to flavor their water with this simple syrup elderflower cordial. We also like to put it in our soda water. And I actually made that with you all here on this channel. I will link it down below so that you can keep your eye out come springtime for the white elderflower blooms, so that you can make a cordial just like this to sweeten your drinks. These bottles also came with a sheet of labels, and it has all different kinds of text on there for caramel syrup, vanilla syrup, all the different syrups. It has a simple syrup one. It did not have an elderflower cordial, so I just went ahead and wrote that on the simple syrup label, but it also had some blank labels so that you could put whatever you wanted to. Let's say you wanted to use this for shampoo or soap or something else not syrup related, you could do that as well. The olive oil dispenser works great. I use that to drizzle olive oil over the broccoli that I add lemon pepper to when I roast it. So that's been really great, because otherwise I was just dumping olive oil and wasting so much of it. I needed this dispenser in my kitchen arsenal. As part of the pantry challenge, I am trying to use up, those weird random things that I bought from the grocery store that at the time was an impulse buy, maybe something I thought was interesting, definitely something that I end up not using, like these noodles. These are those little round ball noodles, and I was joking that it was boba. When we had the chili that night, I was telling the kids, I was like, yeah, it's like boba in your chili. It's chili boba. And they weren't so amused. They were actually like, this is kind of weird, because they're little balls. And I know that I have seen these little pasta balls in cold salads, like cold vegetable salads, or at the grocery store in their deli section. But I have never actually made anything with them. And I found them in the pantry, and I thought, tonight's a good night to add some carbs to this chili. So we're going to go ahead and cook up this whole box of these, and we're cooking them separate from the chili in some salted water. And then once they are done, we're going to add them to our chili just to kind of bulk it up a little bit. This chili is going to feed us for the next couple nights worth of dinners. That makes my life a little bit easier. I like to cook large meals a few times a week so that we have leftovers, so that I'm not a slave to my kitchen, right? So now we've got our pasta all the way cooked. I'm just using this little tiny strainer to drain the water from it, and I'm not too concerned about a little bit of extra water in there. This chili could use a little bit more moisture, so I'm just going to add these pasta balls to that, and dinner is served, y'all. This is ready to go, ready to feed the kids when they come home from school. We are all set. I'm still not quite sure what exactly this pasta is, but let me show you the box of it. De queco? I'm not sure. Anyways, it's got durum wheat in it, semolina, niacin, you know, the basic pasta ingredients in there. Next up, we are going to make an afternoon pick-me-up, but it's not exactly a pick-me-up because it is caffeine-free. I'm just showing you the pretty glazing inside of my cup that I picked up at the farmer's market. But we are going to do some roasted chicory root, roasted dandelion root tea or coffee, but it tastes kind of like coffee, but it's not coffee. It's also good at cleansing your body. It's kind of a detox, you know, it has a little bit of a liver detoxing effect, but I like to drink it every once in a while because it tastes similar to coffee. It has that roasted flavor, it warms me up, and it provides me with a little bit of that alternative nutrition and cleansing that sometimes I feel like I need. So I just kind of do this like a pour over. I pour a little bit of water on to let it bloom, and I let it sit there for just a minute, but today I'm actually in kind of a hurry, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the water on. Normally I would walk away for a minute and then come back if I were to do a pour over with coffee or anything else and with this, but I think today I just really wanted to drink my cup of dandelion root tea and chicory root, and that's what we're doing right now. So we're gonna get that percolating, and I'm gonna add a little bit of honey to it and a little bit of creamer to it, or not creamer, but I'll either use coconut milk or almond milk in that, and have myself a lovely keto creamer. I guess I'm reminiscing back. What did I use? That's what I used, the keto creamer. That is good stuff. That is made with coconut palm sugar and coconut cream. It's delicious. It has minimal ingredients, and it gives my coffee and my teas like this a little bit more volume as far as like a creaminess to them, where the almond milk doesn't really lend itself to creaminess, and coconut milk kind of has a really strong flavor, right? Okay, so here we are. We are going to make some egg drop soup for Aaron. What you do is you get your broth going in a pot, and you season your broth well. So we've seasoned it with salt already. I told him just to get a whirlpool going with it, create your vortex, create your tornado inside the pot, and then you slowly pour in your scrambled eggs and you let them cook for just a minute, and then you have your egg drop soup. He's going to give this a try. Aaron is so hungry right now. He's still on a liquid diet up to this point. He's had a few bites of solid food or soft food here and there, and they did not digest well. They gave him a lot of stomach problem. On this day, he was really hungry, so I said, will you try this egg drop soup? Maybe it'll be gentle enough on your belly. So that's what we are doing. We're just cooking these eggs nice and softly into this broth, and it's about 3 eggs, I would say. He ended up not being able to eat all of this at all. We do believe his stomach has shrunk since all of this has happened to him at the very beginning of January. It was New Year's Day when he went into the hospital. And so his stomach has shrunk definitely because he has not had any food. He's been on a liquid diet. I mean, he's had a few bites, like I said, but he's so hungry, and hopefully this egg drop soup fills him up for a little while, gives him a little bit of needed protein and nutrition from that broth. Okay, next up, we're going to get into this, okay? We are going to make some banana bread, and we're going to make some cookies, and we're going to bake as much stuff as we can bake today so that we can have an easy rest of the week. That is our goal. Let's bake a bunch and not have to bake the rest of the week. Well, I'll still have to make my daily loaf of bread, but this will give me a head start on some snacks for the kids. starting off with the cookies first. These are the mason jar cookies that we made together a couple of weeks ago on my channel, and I already have some butter softening up in a bowl. I have all of this extra sourdough starter that I need to use up, so I'm going to bulk up this batch of cookies by adding some sourdough starter to them. And I'm also going to add, it's like 2 tablespoons of milk, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 eggs. We're going to give all of that a mix up and add that to our cookie in a jar mix and to the contents of this bowl, which is the butter and the sourdough starter. All of this is going to get mixed really well and baked at 350 degrees for about, I needed to do like 11 or 12 minutes because the sourdough starter made them a little bit more bread-like and less cookie-like, so they needed a little bit of extra time. All right, so after 11 minutes in the oven, baked at 350, they are done. They do look a little bit light in color, and I think that's just because of the sourdough and the fact that there's not a whole lot of sugar in these. But yeah, they turned out really good. So they're done. They're cooked all the way through. We're gonna enjoy one now when they're cooled off. I'm gonna put these on the cookie rack and keep on serving them up on the tray to bake some more. And then, yeah, we'll have cookies for the next couple days. The kids will pack these in their lunch, and then an after-school snack too if they like, or maybe for dessert after dinner. Good stuff. All right, next up we're going to do some banana bread. Screenshot this if you want to. I don't know if you'll be able to read my handwriting. I write really, really fast and sloppy because mom of 5 and I have ADD. I have 10 million things going on. So good luck deciphering my handwriting, but I will leave this recipe typed out in a legible, readable way down below in this video's description for you. So this is my standard banana loaf bread, and you know, I'm probably going to add some sourdough starter to that too if I have any left. But in the meantime, let's just check this out and enjoy the beautiful way that we use up old brown bananas. Because let's face it, my kids were on a banana kick for about a month, and now they're back to not eating bananas. I guess they don't need them right now. So we're having to use all the bananas we buy in our baked goods and in our smoothies. Thankfully, Aaron's been home, so he's been enjoying smoothies lately. I know a few of you have asked for our smoothie recipes, but we kind of do a dump and go. We don't measure anything. We just dump it all in there and blend it up and call it a smoothie, and they turned out pretty good. So maybe that'll give you enough confidence to go out there and experiment, make your own smoothies. There's so many recipes online. I'm not going to bore you guys with my smoothie recipes because if you haven't learned by now, I don't really have recipes. I kind of have a general idea and then I put everything together and pray that it tastes good. I don't know if you've noticed that about my channel, but I do occasionally go by a written recipe and measure things out. And I'm trying to be better about that for you all so that I can relay my recipes better to you so that you can enjoy some of the same things that we enjoy here in my home. Okay, tonight for dinner we're having that leftover chili soup. It's really good. We're just using it as like a dip with some crackers and eating it that way in these little bowls.
Delicious.
Torsten's a big fan of it. All right, these loaves of banana bread with the chocolate in them, or the carob chips in them rather, those cooked in about 45 minutes, and these muffins took about 30 minutes. These are going to cool on this rack, and then I'm going to pack them up in some Ziploc bags and store them on the counter overnight, and then tomorrow I will pop them into the refrigerator. We will eat on these throughout the week as a snack, a breakfast, or in addition to our lunch. They are nutritious and filling, so I think that you will like this banana bread recipe as well. I've always added chocolate chips or carob chips to my banana bread. It is so yummy. And I know it's even better with butter on top. This is for the kids. I wish I could have butter. Gosh, I miss butter. But they are going to enjoy this, and then I did make this dairy-free, so I'm going to enjoy it too. Got these packs of bone broth. They're beef flavored, so I'm going to use these. I'm going to do 2 of these, the beef flavor along with this. We're going to do some ranch dressing mix from Azure Standard, some pepperoncini, what we have left in there. We've got like 3. I've got another jar, so I'll get that out. And then we're going to be throwing these steaks in on this lard. You can use any chuck roast that you have, or any kind of beef roast or elk roast, deer roast. You just want to make sure that you brown it to add some extra flavor. And then we're going to add some broth to this. I'm using turkey broth, and then we're going to go in with some beef bone broth packets just to give some of that beefy flavor. Then I'm going in with a spoonful. I think I'm going to add another spoonful, but this is ranch powder that I get from Azure Standard. And we're also going to throw in some pepperoncini peppers in here to give some flavor. I might dump a little bit of juice in there in a few minutes off camera. And then we're going to be deglazing our cast iron skillet to get all of that goodness out of there. And we're going to be adding that to our Instant Pot as well. So deglazing is just where you pour something into your pan where you have stuck on meat bits, and then you go and you scrape all those meat bits out. You get all of that delicious goodness, and you add it to your food because it's so much flavor left in that pan. Then to cure my cast iron skillet again, I rinsed it out with a bit of water, dried it, and threw some pig lard in there. Now you see I'm adding in a little bit of extra ranch dressing to this, a little bit more beef seasoning on that last steak that was in the skillet. And I'm going to throw this into my Instant Pot. It is going to slow cook on low for 8 hours or high for 4 hours. I think I'm going to do it on Instant Pot, has like a medium slow cook. So that's what I'm going to do for 4 hours. I believe that's the equivalent of high on a slow cooker. So we're just going to let that do its work. Here's what we have going here. My kid's fork. It's just the first thing I had access to when I opened the drawer, so I just grabbed it because my hands were a mess. So we got all the bones and all the bones and pieces in there. I could probably dig through it and get out a little bit more meat, but it's like all the undesirable bits. That can be used in a bone broth or a meat broth or whatever if you wanted to, simply because it's got Mississippi pot roast seasoning on it. And then right here we have the meat, but this is only part of the meat that we got off. It's really tender, and I'm throwing the meat, I'm breaking it down into smaller pieces and throwing it back into the juices. I'm going to add probably some more broth to this maybe, and thicken it up and make more of like a meat gravy. And we're going to serve this over top of some Azure Standard organic egg noodles. These are those noodles, and you guys know what? Egg noodles are super easy to make. I just am not going to do it at this season in my life. So here I have my bowl full of egg noodles. I went ahead and measured out how much I would need for my family. So it was like between 8 and 10 ounces for us to serve us, and it ended up being just enough. And then we had enough for leftovers as well. So that's going into some salted water. I needed to add more boiling water, so I did that. I always season my water with Redmond's real salt. You all know that though. There's a link down below for 10% off and free shipping on orders over 30. So check that out. These noodles only take 11 minutes to cook in the boiling water, then strain as usual. I don't run my noodles under any kind of cold water. And then tonight we are serving this up with a side of homemade, home fermented, I call it purple sauerkraut, but it's made with red cabbage. But it turns into this beautiful, beautiful, luscious, pretty pink fuchsia purple color, and it jazzes up every meal. And the last thing that I'm going to share with you in this video is a little bit of a sourdough mix bread. So when you make your bread, or if you're like me and you like to experiment, this time I had a bunch of leftover starter. I've been trying to get my sourdough really active, so I've been feeding it and discarding a lot lately. So I've got some more extra starter, so I added that. I added my salt. It's 2 teaspoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 4 tablespoons of your fat of choice. You can use butter. I use olive oil to keep it dairy free in case I would like a slice of bread. So I'm going to add my 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm also doing about a 1/4 cup of rolled oats. So you can add the rolled oats if you want to, or if you don't. There's the 4 tablespoons of olive oil. It's a quick pour because this is a time-lapsed video. So if you're wondering, that didn't look like 4 tablespoons. It probably maybe was. All right, so then I'd go in with 2 cups of bread flour. This is unbleached bread flour. And then I go in with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And you don't see it in this video, but I added 2 teaspoons of yeast. And the combination of the sourdough starter and the yeast resulted in a bread that looked like this. So it was light and fluffy, and you can see how it has turned out, but it's going to be beautiful and tasty nonetheless. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, bye.